فضلا وليس أمرا ادعمونا بلايك للفيديو واشتراك بالقناة، فهذا يدعمنا كثيرا.
So Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea have faced off against each other in Dublin as the International Champions Cup comes to the Aviva Stadium. So Arsenal get us underway from right to left. When I think of the way Diego Costa used to bully Arsenal around over the last few years, he's not here anymore, Lee.
Around the box who will score your goals.
L'Unghendouzi has hardly put a foot wrong. Stefan Lichtsteiner, another of the new boys for Arsenal this season. L'Unghendouzi, steadily done by Jorginho, not so good after that, and L'Unghendouzi onto it quickly, goes again, the little feedback.
Attacking areas, great little bit of play, just the ball back from Mkhitaryan just wasn't quite right for him.
Really torrid time of it here so far. It's just beyond L'Unghendouzi, Barkley onto it, Ross Barkley. L'Unghendouzi trying to set the tempo here. Only a handful of games at Lorient before this big...
You know, you've got to think that you can't give these boys time. You cannot at all, because they would just punish you. And if Arsenal are going to go anywhere this season, that's many seasons they've just about this defensive problem that they've brought players in. Socrates, who you think is going to come in and do the job. It's a big question mark for me with Arsenal area, which, again...
By the way, that was a following up. L'Unghendouzi. Bellerin found some room. Check, can't get to it.
Mark to these big games, because the Premier League, we know now, is just getting bigger and bigger and tougher.
Pedro wasn't inclined to do that then for L'Unghendouzi.
You know, I mean, these youngsters, they've got to have that little bit of time, and you've got to...
L'Unghendouzi. El Neni showed for it. As for Chelsea, they don't like it when people mention, you know, the... well, Conte wound everybody up last season at this stage, didn't he? The Mourinho season effect. But what he meant by that was win the title and then drop off.
Talk of Conte leaving, you know, the uncertainty of the squad, the players leaving.
So high is the standard, of course, that even when they do win a trophy, it's like, well, that was a season to forget. That happened last year.
I mean, as I just haven't seen that attacking threat from Arsenal. I haven't seen...
But it also says it's for a coach who is making his mark on them already.
The squad that they've got already. But you just think, Arsenal, can they do it this season? There's a big question mark still.
Well, there's a big question mark in this game, to be honest with you. L'Unghendouzi got lucky. Smith Rowe. L'Unghendouzi. Smith Rowe. Patient at least by Arsenal. Here's Bellerin. If you're Arsenal, I know how well Chelsea are defending here. L'Unghendouzi there ahead of Hudson-Odoi. At the Aviva Stadium early on, but having a better spell now. L'Unghendouzi, Mkhitaryan.
Tried to have a touch, and it's fizzled away from just nothing really, but good play, again, good build-up play. Worked it to where...
All been played in front of Chelsea at the moment. Stopped by Kolasinac. Cut and thrust here once more in the International Champions Cup between these long-standing rivals. Arsenal had the better of the cup ties in recent years and righted the scales a little bit with a couple of draws in.
Tough time, he really is. Every time he gets the ball, Bellerin looks scared to death to go anywhere near him. And it's like that start that I've seen. I mean, I've seen some of the games, and they've been okay. I'm still expecting a lot more.
Keeps Barkley at bay. L'Unghendouzi has a little room. Hits it!
Yeah, really, to be honest, he's trying to get on the ball, and again, he's found himself in that more attacking zone. It's a fair strike from there. L'Unghendouzi, he's really been in the thick of things.
Lee, after a rather Disappointing beginning, to put it mildly.
Yeah, I think they've certainly stepped up. They really have this last 15, 20. You know, he's took a snapshot from a good 20 yards.
Might be more to do. Kolasinac might be in a little bit of trouble. He stayed down in that. To trouble, of course.
Good signs for Arsenal.
Fast and furious once more tonight in the International Champions Cup, as we hoped it would be, almost expected it would be, as ever between it. Mkhitaryan's shot was blocked down by his own man.
Oh, fantastic opportunity. Everything's opened up for him.
Kolasinac is still in a little bit of trouble following that earlier collision with Socrates. Guendouzi. Not the best from Aubameyang, but the break, as is the norm. But it does mean plenty to get a result here.
Anyone to really fire out the traps, and we talked about this, about him getting in behind defence.
So should have been encouraged surely by the last 15-20 minutes of the first half, when they took it to Chelsea much more.
Yeah, they more chances, as we know that it's having possession and going places with it, and eventually they did start to
go out and be ready. One or two other senior men like Victor Moses not out there at the moment. Ozil on by Guendouzi. Kolasinac. Studious, isn't it, from Arsenal? Steady.
Yeah, and they're still probing away and keeping that ball.
On the Chelsea bench. It's a bit short by Guendouzi, but good.
What a chance that is. That was probably easier than his first one.
Who has gone in at right back. He's a young player lead that a lot of Chelsea fans are hoping to see more of.
Yeah, but I didn't see much of it, much movement.
Barkley showed for that, and Guendouzi matched him. Gets a big hand here.
Strike off.
Kolasinac, Guendouzi, Mkhitaryan showed for it. It goes square instead to El Neni. Arsenal. Guendouzi.
When you think for all the good play that Arsenal had.
Abraham did well, Barkley maybe not so well. Head was down, almost recovered by George.
You know, it's just obviously they need that goal, and I think it'll give them a big lift if they get it. That's what I'd like to see.
Guendouzi with a good-looking ball.
In that attacking third, as we've seen there, usually he would slide a ball through.
Guendouzi fouled by Abraham, and a quick restart. Good thinking. El Neni.
Games, possession's not going to win you games.
New manager, Sarri, same old steely edge to Chelsea. Speaking of the commentator's curse, I've written a little script about a goalkeeping change tonight, and yeah. Hudson-Odoi, Guendouzi, sympathetic
circumstances, but great feet and great skills that we've expected from this.
Iwobi. Worthy of at least a share of this. Guendouzi to El Neni.
You know, if the likes of Willian ends up leaving the club, or Hazard, are some of these youngsters going to get their chance?
Nice by Guendouzi again. Emery equal to that as well. Did well.
They did demand it, coming for that ball.
Chelsea with that block of blue, and only Abraham up the field. Now maybe something.
Again, another player whose speculation have not been.
الغندوزي. What is all the fuss about?
Bulka goes the right way as well, but just got no chance.
المغربية تطلب عالمية كورة بن عطية ويا الله ويا الله انظرونا ناري ناري وصوفوا فاجر الدراري حق زياد ولد بلادي.
Created with free version for non-commercial.